President Donald Trump has hosted an historic signing ceremony at the White House, brokering a major peace deal between the UAE, Bahrain and Israel. Joining me now is US contributor Michael Ware. Michael, good to see you. So what does this mean for the Middle East? There's a lot of talk, particularly from Donald Trump's camp, that this is going to mean peace. Others aren't so sure.
Well, whether this brings us to the brink of peace, we're yet to see. But this certainly is the emergence of a new roadmap towards that peace in the Middle East. It's a roadmap that isolates the Palestinians from these Arab states that have been sponsoring them in the hope that it forces the Palestinians to the negotiating table with the Israelis. Now, the way people are framing this is that in the past, the approach has been inside out by unravelling the Gordian knot that is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Then peace would reverberate across the region. Well, this takes the exact opposite approach. It's been called the outside-in approach, where you align all these Sunni Arab states with Washington and with Tel Aviv, united by their opposition to Iran, which they hope will, in effect, then bring the Palestinians back to the negotiating table. Now, to get this done, Israel had to promise that it would halt annexation of Palestinian lands. The United Arab Emirates are apparently going to get access to the new state-of-the-art F-35 fighter jet that Israel had opposed them getting. And Bahrain, we don't know what the sweetener was, but we do expect now other Arab countries to follow and to join this agreement to normalise relations with the Middle East. I mean, this is a special kind of approach. It's new. It's one that challenges the premise that the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is the beating heart of instability in the Middle East. But when you look at things like the economic collapse of Lebanon, the rise and fall of ISIS, the war in Syria, even the civil war in Libya, the falling oil prices, and these Arab states need to diversify their economies and seek technologies like the ones that Israel has, none of those factors have anything to do with the Palestinians. So this is a brand new approach. It's bold. I think it's got legs. Let's see where it goes.
I guess everyone's going to watch now and see what Iran's move is, right? So, I mean, is there the potential for Iran to keep driving a wedge here and saying to the Palestinians, or saying to Bahrain and the UAE, that they're not with you, stay with us? Is there a chance that they go down that road?
Peter, is there a chance? It is absolutely certain that Iran is going to try to upset this new order. I mean, we had reports just today of a missile launched at the US Embassy in Baghdad, reports of a potential Iranian assassination or kidnap attempt against an American diplomat in South Africa. Iran is not going to take this lying down. You can believe that. Right now, Iran's long game is to lay low until the presidential election here in America. They want to see if they're going to end up dealing with Trump, and then they'll take a certain course, or whether they're going to end up dealing with Biden, who they believe will commence negotiations with them again.
Well, he'll try and, I assume, Joe Biden will try and re-establish what Barack Obama did.
That's what the prevailing opinion is. And, look, I think there's room for dialogue with Iran, but the question is on what terms. Many here in America believe that, the Obama administration threw out the baby with the bathwater with the nuclear deal, whereas all the European nations firmly believe that was a rock-solid deal. Look, it's a problem here is, with the hard line from the Trump administration on Iran and the different route it took with North Korea, neither one's worked, because since the Trump administration, both Iran and North Korea are closer to possessing nuclear weapons or have further developed their nuclear weapons than before President Trump arrived. So, look, mate, this is the most complex region in the world,
Yep,
arguably,
sure is.
and you know, there's a long way to
It
go.
is. I wouldn't even say it's arguable. I think it is the most complex region in the world.